You thought it was a coincidence, until Archangel Michael revealed what was really happening behind the smiles. Watch now. There has been a pattern swirling, quiet but insistent. It began last Thursday. You know the one. The appearance of 1111 again and again, like a whisper etched across time, tapping the soul's shoulder. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't your imagination. It wasn't just another number. No, it was a coded signal, sent through the veil, through the chaos, through the crowd, and it was sent to you. It wasn't broadcast on a screen. It was implanted deep in your awareness, and it would not let go. On that day, in the stillness, between breath and burden, Archangel Michael appeared. Not in thunder, but in a clarity so sharp, your spirit froze in attention. He came not to comfort but to unveil, to show what was happening behind the curtain, beneath the smiles, beneath the rehearsed kindness, the polished charm, the "I'm so happy for you" looks that never quite reached the soul. You felt it. Heaven confirmed it. You were not mistaken. That smile, that was studied, that conversation, scripted, a hug, calculated. What you called connection was camouflage, and now you know why you couldn't shake the unease that crept in after every interaction. That sudden shift in their tone, that strange delay in their celebration of your good news, that heavy silence after you left the room. It wasn't just awkwardness. It was spiritual opposition cloaked in familiar faces. But this word, this warning, is not for everyone. It is not for the numb. It is not for the distracted or those who scroll past prophecy to chase comfort. This word is for the awakened. This is for the watch. This is for the one who knows something has been off. The one who's kept silent because they were unsure if they were just being sensitive. The one who didn't have proof but had a persistent knowing. Heaven is speaking to you now. If your spirit has been in turmoil while your face wore peace, if your nights have felt disturbed though your days seem normal, if your energy has shifted but you didn't know why, Michael says, you've entered the hour of revelation. Stay still. Stay sensitive. Stay silent. Heaven is preparing a vindication that will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There is no time to waste. There is no space for delay. You are not reading this by accident. This message was carved out of heaven's sequence and delivered into your timeline as a sacred interruption. Before the dawn breaks again, something in your atmosphere is going to shift. Something that was hidden will be revealed. Something you couldn't quite name will call itself out. And when it does, you must remember this. Heaven is not reacting, it's orchestrating. Archangel Michael does not step forward casually. He doesn't show up when things are light and easy. He comes when the warfare is subtle but sacred. When your breakthrough attracts not just favor but opposition, when your name is whispered in rooms of envy, and you don't even know it yet. This is why heaven had to stop your scroll, interrupt your rhythm, and call your spirit to attention. Because what's coming next cannot be faced with blind eyes and a dulled heart. You must be awake. You must be alert. And most of all, you must be still. You've been wondering why your victories feel heavy, why you feel spiritual fatigue after moments of success, why the room shifts when you speak of your calling. You've been seeing the smiles but feeling the stabs. You've watched familiar eyes go glassy when your name is praised. And in that tension, in that confusion, you've been tempted to downplay your anointing, to question your discernment, to shrink so others could remain comfortable. But Archangel Michael has come to remove the confusion. Heaven sees what you missed. Heaven saw how they paused before they applauded. Heaven saw how they mimicked joy but measured your steps like spies. Heaven watched how they stood beside you in public but questioned your favor in private. And heaven is responding. Heaven is speaking. Heaven is warning. This is your spiritual alert. You cannot go back to sleep now. The smiles you trusted were cloaks. The support was scripted. The alliance was only sustained as long as your progress didn't surpass theirs. The applause turned sour when your destiny dared to rise higher. You've been sensing the disconnection, the emotional distance, the awkward tension that no one wants to address. And now heaven confirms, you were not imagining it. You were discerning it. You have been chosen to see what others ignore. You have been selected to perceive what others sleep through. And with that choosing comes weight, comes warfare, comes whispers from both heaven and hell. But hear this. Your awareness is not your weakness. It is your weapon. Michael stands now with his sword drawn, not to fight your earthly enemies, but to slice through the spiritual fog that has surrounded you. His blade comes not with violence, but with clarity. He has come to awaken your inner sight, to stir the part of you that knows truth without proof, to empower you to believe what you feel, even when it contradicts what you see. Because here's the truth no one tells the anointed. The more you rise, the more you will be light about. The brighter your light, the more shadows will stretch toward you. And the more aligned you become, the more misaligned people will try to provoke you out of position. But you cannot take the bait. You cannot be baited into reaction. You must remain still. Your silence is a prophecy. Your stillness is an act of war. You are not inactive. You are in divine observation mode. The Spirit is scanning your surroundings. The Spirit is testing the temperature of every alliance. The Spirit is noting every smirk disguised as a smile. Before sunrise you will know. You will hear something. Feel something. Sense something. A conversation will shift. A voice will sound different. A room will go quiet. And in that moment, do not explain. Do not accuse. Do not chase understanding. Let heaven reveal. Let heaven respond. Because anything you do now in the flesh may sabotage what the Spirit is setting in motion. You are not just passing through time. Time is passing through you. The patterns, the signals, the numbers, the symbols, they are not distractions. They are divine time steps confirming your placement. They are heaven's way of showing you. You are being watched because you are being lifted. And because of that elevation, you must now protect your sensitivity like it's sacred currency. Do not dull your discernment to keep others comfortable. Do not silence your knowing to maintain peace with those who do not carry peace within themselves. Do not explain your grace to people who would misuse it. Michael declares, you are on holy ground. Move carefully. Watch quietly. Speak only when heaven says speak. And trust. Heaven has already seen enough to act on your behalf. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. You didn't imagine it, that sudden change in tone. The way their eyes shifted when you walked into the room. The way their words began to echo with something colder than before. It was real. It was spiritual. And it began the moment you broke through. You thought they would celebrate your growth. You thought your joy would become their joy. But instead something cracked beneath the surface. Their tone became careful. Their laughter became forced. Their support, once loud, turned into polite silence. It was not coincidence. It was not mood. It was exposure. Archangel Michael leans close now and whispers a truth you've been trying to ignore. They watched with envy, not joy. They didn't hate you. They studied you. They didn't attack you. They smiled instead, while silently calculating how far you'd go and wondering why the favor fell on you. That compliment you received, it was laced with question, at praise, measured and managed so it wouldn't reveal too much admiration. What they called celebration was containment. What looked like support was actually spiritual surveillance. They watched your every move like spies in disguise. Not enemy, but watchers. Not haters, but hidden skeptics. They clapped with their hands but clenched in their spirits. And still, you loved them. Still you shared. Still you trusted. Still, you tried to pull them with you into what heaven was birthing in you. But they didn't want to come with you. They wanted to copy what you had, without carrying what you carry. And Michael says this clearly. You were not paranoid. You were perceiving what was spiritually real. Yes, that moment, when their voice changed. That awkward pause in the conversation. That strange energy after you posted your testimony. That lingering feeling that something was off, even though nothing was said aloud. You wanted to believe you were overthinking. You tried to pray it away. But your discernment kept getting louder, didn't it? You started hearing their offhanded comments differently. The way they referenced your success like it was a fluke. The passive jabs hidden in compliments. The just joking remarks that didn't sit right in your spirit. That wasn't your mind playing tricks. That was heaven tuning your frequency. What was once subtle is now undeniable. And that's why you've been emotionally unsettled lately. That's why you felt disconnected, disoriented, even disappointed, and you couldn't explain it. It's because your spirit has begun to reject what your soul once tolerated. What used to comfort now disturbs. What once made you feel safe now makes you feel watched. This is the evidence of elevation. The higher you go, the more the atmosphere reveals itself. And here's the part most don't tell you. Elevation creates separation. Not always through conflict. Sometimes through discomfort. Sometimes through silence. Sometimes through subtle shifts that scream louder than words ever could. Heaven doesn't always remove people with violence. Sometimes it just opens your eyes. And now, your eyes have seen too much. You cannot unsee. You cannot unfeel. You cannot pretend. And you must not go back to blind love and hopeful explanations. Because when heaven reveals, heaven requires a response. This is not the time to fight. This is not the time to explain. This is the time to withdraw, not in bitterness, but in clarity. Not in coldness, but in protection. You are not cutting people off. You are accepting that some people were never truly with you. They were beside you, but not for you. And now that truth is bleeding through their smiles. The mystery is not why they've changed. The mystery is why you didn't see it sooner. But now that you do, now that heaven has opened your spiritual eyes, you must protect your peace with a holy violence. You must guard your access like it's oil. Archangel Michael says, you are not alone. You are not crazy. You are not wrong. You are awakened. And once you awaken, you must act like it. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving us super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe for more divine revelations, spiritual alerts, and prophetic insight that speaks directly to your season. Let this be your spiritual safe place. Type "I am shielded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1717 is now activated. This has never been just about personalities, preferences, or petty misunderstandings. It's never been about what was said or not said. It was never about drama. It has always been a spiritual war. Archangel Michael reminds you today, heaven is not confused. What you're going through was foreseen. What you're fighting was allowed. The tension you feel, the resistance you've encountered, the spiritual weight pressing against your progress, it's not random. It's not unfair. It's refinement. Every conversation, every smile, every silence that left you questioning, it was a test. A test of perception. A test of posture. A test of purity. Because where you're going next, you cannot carry assumptions. You need clarity. You need confidence. And above all, you need clean hands and a watching spirit. Your peace hath been under attack not because you're weak, but because your peace is your power. And when peace becomes your posture, the enemy sends confusion like a flood. When stillness becomes your response, the enemy stirs noise. When discernment sharpens, deception rises to meet it. But the battle doesn't belong to you. It never did. The battle has always belonged to the Lord. The smiles, they weren't just fake. They were weapons. Camouflaged in charisma. Dressed in flattery. But inside, they carried assignment. To distract. To disrupt. To dismantle your focus. The enemy knows he can't steal your calling, so he tries to drain your courage. And he sends it packaged in people. But heaven is not surprised. This is why the warfare has intensified, because the weight of your next is too valuable to leave unguarded. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being prepared, not punished. You are being separated, not sabotaged. Every storm you faced was divine training. Every delay, a divine setup. Every rejection, protection in disguise. And Michael himself has been deployed not just to protect, but to witness. He's been watching who honors you in your rise and who secretly roots for your fall. Heaven keeps the records. You don't need to. Now hear this clearly. You are becoming too powerful to stay silent about your discernment and too valuable to remain in untested company. What they meant as an insult, heaven marked as an initiation. What they used to isolate you, God used to identify you. And because of who you're becoming, heaven has deployed protection at a level you've never known. Angelic assignments are shifting. Your life has drawn spiritual attention. You are now in visible transition. And as Michael stands beside you, sword in hand, wings of fire spread wide, you are reminded, you are not fighting alone. Heaven fights with you. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8888 is now covering you. Here's a spiritual window opening now, narrow, precise, and holy. Archangel Michael declares, in 72 hours, a revealing will occur. This is not metaphor. This is not symbolic. This is heaven's direct announcement to the awakened. Watch the next 3 days. A voice you did not expect will rise. A presence you thought was settled will suddenly shift. Something hidden will try to reveal itself, but not with purity. It will come dressed in concern, cloaked in casual words. Someone you haven't heard from in a while, or someone too familiar to suspect, will reach out. But this is not a reconnection. It is a spiritual trigger. They are coming not to heal, but to test. And this time, your reaction determines your promotion. Michael speaks with urgency. You will be tested through conversation. Guard your responses. Guard your emotions. Guard your eyes. What seems like small talk will be surveillance. What seems like coincidence will be confrontation. Not of fists, but of flesh via spirit. Your response must be silence. Not absence, but measured stillness. The kind of silence that watches, listens, prays. The kind of silence that trusts heaven more than your instincts. You will want to correct them. You will want to expose the half-truths, to call out the hidden motives. But heaven says, don't. Because the test is not about who they are. The test is about who you've become. You are no longer the version of you that needed to be understood. You are no longer the version of you that reacts to every whisper. You are no longer the version of you that gets pulled into drama just to defend your name. Heaven knows your name. And in this season, that is enough. There is a kind of silence that speaks louder than screams. There is a kind of stillness that shakes hell to its core. You are not ignoring. You are discerning. You are not passive. You are being positioned. Heaven is watching. The Spirit is hovering. The angels are circling. They are not watching to punish. They are watching to promote. Your reaction in the next 72 hours will either close a gate or open one. The gate of next level elevation. The gate of visibility. The gate of divine transfer. Stay under God's shield. Do not try to explain yourself out of what heaven has already spoken over you. Some will misunderstand your silence. Let them. Some will accuse your restraint as weakness. Let them. You are not here to please people. You are here to pass the test of the called. Your emotions may feel heavy. You may feel the pressure rise, like a weight on your chest, like fire behind your eyes. That is the tension before the turn. That is the spiritual vibration of heaven aligning your atmosphere. And when that tension comes, go quiet. Go still. Go inward. You not react. Retreat. Archangel Michael says this with thunder. Pressure precedes promotion. If you feel like something is about to break, you're right. But it won't be you. You will be the veil. It will be the counterfeit. It will be the schemes of those who thought your spirit was still asleep. Let them show their intentions. Do not block the exposure. Heaven has allowed it. You are not being ambushed. You are being anointed through adversity. The confrontation is not your enemy. It is your elevator. Do not defend yourself. Let your discernment defend you. Let heaven respond. Let the Spirit reveal. And when it does, you'll know exactly why you had to remain silent all along. Type "I am silent but surrounded" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now sealed over you. Now comes the part where many fall. The desire to explain. The need to prove. The aching urge to clear the air and set the record straight. But heaven says, hold your tongue. Hold your tone. Hold your peace. Because in this season, your silence is your sword. Archangel Michael is not only a warrior, he is a guard. And his instruction now is not to fight with words, but to wield wisdom through stillness. Your silence is not absence. It is armor. It is strategy. It is holy defiance against the schemes of the enemy. The adversary expects you to lash out. The enemy anticipates your defense. But when you withhold your reaction, when you pause and let heaven speak instead, you disarm them entirely. Michael says clearly, heaven will speak where you don't. Let that truth settle in your soul like fire. You do not need to open your mouth to win this. You do not need to fight fire with fire. Your defense has already been written in the scrolls of heaven. Your name has already been cleared before the courts of angels. Your record is righteous. You are not standing on shaky ground. You are standing under divine jurisdiction. Withdraw from the stage. Step back from their drama. Let the performance continue without your participation. You are no longer part of the theater of false loyalty and counterfeit relationships. You are being called into the secret place, not to hide, but to be strategically concealed. There is an invisible hand moving now, orchestrating, arranging, positioning people, unlocking doors, routing outcomes, all in your favor. But you must stay low so heaven can lift you. You must stay quiet so heaven can echo on your behalf. Your job now is prayer, not panic. Stillness, not statements. Praise, not proof. Every time you choose stillness, you draw angelic activity. Every time you reject retaliation, heaven assigns reinforcement. And Michael says, the enemy doesn't know what to do with someone who won't react. Your silence is tormenting the forces that tried to derail you, because what they hoped would distract you has only deepened your intimacy with the Spirit. What they used to draw you out, God has used to draw you in, and you've become stronger in the silence, sharper in the silence, more dangerous in the silence. This is divine strategy. The less you speak, the more heaven works. The less you engage, the more they expose themselves. Do not give them your energy. Do not give them your tears. Give it to God. Say this aloud with me. I am shielded. I am selected. I am safe. That affirmation is not just words. It is agreement. It is your alignment with angelic protection. It is your declaration to all the watching realms that you are not afraid, not confused, and not available for spiritual sabotage. So go inward now. Pray in silence. Watch without responding. Let the mocking continue. It will collapse soon enough. Let the lies breathe. They will suffocate under truth. Let the delay linger. It is divine preparation for a delivery that will arrive with thunder. You are hidden in the cleft of the rock. You are guarded by a host of fire. And though you cannot see the angels assigned to you, they can see everything. And they are not silent. They are surrounding you. They are shielding your every step. They are moving people out, lifting people in, and building the bridge to your next divine encounter. And you must remain still. Type, I am shielded. I am selected. I am safe. In the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7117 is now upon you. The shift has already begun. You may not have seen it with your physical eyes, but your spirit has felt the change. You sense the rearranging in the atmosphere, the inner tug, the emotional distance, the divine silence that started calling you inward. Archangel Michael steps forward with this prophetic confirmation. You are no longer who you used to be, and they can't access who you're becoming. Let the truth echo deeply. You are not the same. You've outgrown the version of yourself they could manipulate. You've outgrown the conversations that once fed your fears. You've outgrown the emotional traps disguised as friendships. The shift has not only been external, it has been internal. And though others may not understand it, heaven does. Your laughter has changed. Not because you've lost joy, but because you've found a deeper one that isn't dependent on who claps for you. One that isn't manufactured by performance. You don't laugh to fit in anymore. You smile because you found stillness, awareness, and truth. And heaven says this loud and clear. Their laughter was a distraction. Your elevation is proof. They laughed at your dreams, called you dramatic, too sensitive, too deep. But heaven was watching the whole time. Every tear was multiplied into fire. Every rejection became a seed. Every lonely night was counted. Every prayer you prayed behind closed doors reached the ears of God, and not one of them went unanswered. They underestimated what silence would do to you. But while they thought you were finished, you were actually being formed. You've grown wings in secret. Wings that no one saw being built. Wings that took shape in pain, in quiet endurance, in deep spiritual labor. And now, without permission, without warning, without explanation, you're rising. And they won't understand it. They will try to call you arrogant. They will accuse you of being distant, of acting different. But let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them speculate. Because the truth is, you are different. You did outgrow that season. You have been transformed. And the people who were once comfortable around you are now uncomfortable because they can no longer control or predict you. They used to read your reactions like a map. Now they only see mystery. Michael says, they mistook your stillness for weakness, but they are about to see the strength of someone who's been with God. This shift is not meant to be explained. It is meant to be protected. Don't waste your oil trying to pour it into vessels that never intended to carry you. Don't dilute your destiny just to remain accessible to those who never truly saw you. Your time in the wilderness was not punishment. It was preparation. It was there that your voice was refined, your discernment sharpened, your assignment clarified. And now that you're rising, the air has changed. It's thinner up here, fewer crowds, quieter company, stronger winds. Don't expect the same people to go with you. Don't grieve who can't understand you. Your anointing has grown, and with it, the call for stewardship. This next version of you doesn't chase. It doesn't prove. It doesn't explain. It walks in alignment. It moves with authority. It breathes under divine timing. So breathe. Breathe into this new level. Breathe into this sacred change. Breathe into the identity heaven always had in mind for you. The one that was buried under years of people-pleasing, false friendships, and spiritual attacks disguised as relationships. You've been seen. You've been chosen. You've been set apart. You are not rising for applause. You are rising for assignment. And your elevation is not revenge. It is revelation. It is heaven revealing what was always inside you, now allowed to emerge, now empowered to lead. Type I am rising in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4554 is unlocking over your life. This journey was never about them, never about what they said, and never about what they did. The real story was never about the betrayal, the silence, the shift in energy. All of that was just a backdrop to the true narrative, the unlocking of who you were always meant to be. Archangel Michael stands before you now and proclaims, your name was spoken in heaven's court. Let that truth strike the core of your soul. Your name, not just your title, not just your position, your very essence has been echoed through celestial halls. You were not forgotten. You were not overlooked. You were being validated in a realm where applause doesn't echo, authority does. And now, revelation comes with clarity. Every betrayal wasn't a wound, it was a permission. Heaven used what they meant for harm to write your promotion. Every closed door was a redirection. Every false friend was a divine filter. Every no you received was heaven's way of saying not here, but higher. You've been tested. You've been weighed. And now, you are being released. You thought you needed their agreement to move forward. You thought you needed their presence to feel secure. But heaven has erased those names from your next chapter. You are not being launched with consensus. You are being launched by command. This moment, this very season, is not just a step forward. It is an unlocking. Doors that were spiritually sealed are breaking open. Paths that were hidden are being unveiled. And God says, I withheld it until now, because what's ahead required a version of you only fire could produce. You are fireborn now. And because of that, your next level demands solitude, not applause. Applause confuses the flesh, but solitude clarifies the call. Don't chase validation in a crowd heaven has silenced. Don't seek confirmation from voices heaven muted. Your destiny is unfolding in silence, but its manifestation will be public. Let the world wonder how you arrived. Let the critics guess how you got through. Let them speculate while you move in divine obedience. This next season will require announcement. It will be marked by evidence. Heaven will vindicate you in places you were once rejected. God will seat you at tables you were denied access to. And you won't need to say a word, because favor speaks louder than apology. Revelation speaks louder than regret. This was never about them. It was about you finally realizing that you've been called from the beginning, and nothing they did could stop it. If this word is speaking to your spirit and you want to support more prophetic releases like this, consider dropping a super thanks with contributions up to $20. It truly helps us keep bringing messages like this to light. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to receive more divine alerts, empowering insight, and spirit-led revelations that meet you right where you are. This is your spiritual lifeline. Type I am unlocked in the comments if this word is for you. Blessing code 7272 is now working on your behalf. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. Not next week. Not next year. Not when conditions are perfect. Now, this is the hour where the heavens lean in, and the scroll with your name begins to unseal. This is the divine point of no return. The crossroads between hesitation and destiny. Archangel Michael stands with sword blazing and whispers not just a suggestion, but a divine command. Say yes. Now, you've been waiting on God to move, but heaven's been waiting on your agreement. Everything up until this moment has been training ground. The silence, the betrayal, the elevation, the testing, the spiritual warfare behind smiles and stage support. It was all setting the stage for this. You don't need another sign. You don't need another confirmation. You need alignment. The enemy has been working overtime to keep you hesitant, to make you second guess, to keep your hands clenched around the past. Because he knows that once you say yes, fully, completely, without retreat, gates begin to open. Heavenly order begins to rush in. Favor begins to flood you. Assignment begins to take shape in ways you could never orchestrate yourself. And so now, the Spirit says, declare it with your mouth. Shift it with your faith. Move it with your obedience. Declare it. I accept my mantle. I rise by divine choice. This isn't just a statement. It is a spiritual activation code. It is the release key that breaks the chains of delay. It is the unlocking mechanism that heaven responds to with fire. The minute you speak it with your heart in full surrender, angels are dispatched. Plans are rearranged. Resources are summoned. and the atmosphere around your life begins to reconfigure itself in obedience to your calling. You are not just stepping into purpose. You are being summoned. You have tried to live in the middle for too long. You've been almost obedient, partially surrendered, somewhat available. But heaven doesn't deal in partial contracts, and destiny does not respond to hesitation. It only bows to total agreement. You must give God your yes, all of it, without the escape route, without the backup plan, without the approval of the people you used to need. Heaven already confirmed who you are. You don't need to ask again. You don't need another prophet to tell you. You don't need the approval of those who didn't carry the cost. You don't need the crowd to clap. You don't need the old room to understand. All you need is the faith to say yes, and the boldness to walk like someone who has already been chosen. Your movement now will activate favor. Doors you didn't knock on will swing wide. Resources you didn't request will find you. People with divine assignments will show up out of nowhere. But nothing moves until you do. Your feet are the key. Your faith is the code. Your obedience is the signal heaven is waiting on. Don't wait for everyone to be ready. Don't wait for them to support it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is this one. Right here. Right now. Michael warns you gently but firmly. Heaven is watching. Don't delay your destiny for the comfort of familiarity. Familiarity will cost you more than failure ever will. You're not going backward. You're not shrinking. You're not asking permission anymore. You're rising because God already said go. And now the final call. Will you say yes? Will you speak it out loud? Will you declare, right here in this moment, I accept my mantle? The angels are listening. The heavens are leading in. The shift is ready. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time. But you must move. Type I accept my mantle in the comments if this is your moment. Blessing code 3838 is now released over your name. There is a realm above the noise. A realm above the words, above the misunderstandings, above the warfare. And in this realm, there is a sacred exchange happening that your physical eyes cannot see, but your spirit has already begun to feel. Heaven is responding to your stillness, not with silence, but with divine transactions. While you sleep, while you rest, while you worship instead of worry, things are shifting. Archangel Michael speaks now not with thunder, but with holy stillness. What was taken through smiles is being restored through fire. They didn't steal your destiny. They only provoked your promotion. They didn't rob you of favor. They triggered your refinement. Every moment of pain caused by their false presence, every tear you cried after pretending not to notice the betrayal, heaven has collected all of it. And it has not gone unnoticed. It has not gone unrecorded. You thought nothing was happening. But in the spirit realm, a sacred exchange was occurring. Every moment you remained quiet, heaven was writing. Every time you chose prayer over pettiness, heaven added weight to your authority. Every time you refused to fight in the flesh, you grew in the spirit. You felt anxious lately, like something's about to break. Like you're standing on the edge of something, but you don't have the words to name it. That's not anxiety. It's spiritual acceleration. Your spirit already senses what your mind has not caught up to. The shift is closer than you think. The exchange is already being processed. Michael says this with divine precision. Heaven bartered what you lost and gained more on your behalf. You didn't even know what was being negotiated in the background. You didn't know what angels had to fight off. You didn't know the warfare that surrounded your silence. You had no idea that your stillness made room for divine negotiations to secure what your voice never could. Now watch the signs. Because what was unseen is about to become undeniable. You'll receive a message that feels random. It's not. You'll meet someone unexpectedly who will say something that confirms everything. That's the spirit. You'll feel a sudden wave of peace that interrupts your thoughts. That's angelic presence. This is a silent exchange. A moment where everything is shifting, but not loudly, not violently. It will be so smooth, so precise, that many around you won't even realize what's happening. But you will know. Your spirit will know. The atmosphere will respond to your presence in a way it never has before. Why? Because you are no longer who you were. And now you must guard this moment. Don't run to announce what hasn't yet manifested. Let it unfold. Don't try to prove to anyone what heaven is doing. Let them see it. Don't explain your rest. Don't defend your stillness. You're in transition, not tension. While others are busy performing, you are being positioned. While others are scrambling for platforms, heaven is building one for you. While others are shouting for attention, your quiet has become your credential. This is the sacred mystery of divine exchange. What they thought you lost, you've actually gained. What looked like subtraction was really sacred investment. And now the return is about to be deposited. Quietly, powerfully, unstoppably. Type I receive the exchange in the comments if you feel this word in your spirit. Blessing code 9090 is now active over your atmosphere. It is written in the heavens. God is not mocked. What they did in secret will be answered in the open. What they whispered behind the veil of politeness, what they planned with smiles and postured words, is now being answered by the justice of the Most High. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword, not merely as your protector in battle, but as heaven's witness in the courtroom of justice. For now, divine justice is not being delayed. It is being delivered. Every lie they told, recorded. Every manipulation they orchestrated, seen. Every moment they mocked you while pretending to support you, it's all been judged already in the spirit realm. And Michael declares with power, their reward is their own trap. They tried to dig a ditch for you. I did expect it to become the place of their own unraveling. They thought if they smiled just right, you'd stay blind. If they stayed close enough, they'd have access to monitor your steps. But they underestimated heaven's surveillance. They forgot that when they touched someone chosen, they were placing themselves in the crosshairs of divine reversal. God is just, and his justice does not sleep. His reversal is not about vengeance. It's about alignment. It's about restoring what was taken, about returning what was delayed. It's about flipping the narrative and letting heaven speak through the visible fruit of your life. Those who thought your season of silence was stagnation are about to see the overflow that has been stored up in secret. The reversal has already begun. You're not the same anymore. And so heaven has ruled that your life can no longer be entangled with the ones who misjudged your worth. This judgment is not about destruction. It's about separation. Divine clarity is falling like lightning, cutting between soul and spirit, truth and pretense, real and counterfeit. You're being lifted out from among them, not because you're better, but because you're being prepared for something bigger. Michael reminds you, God delays only to build divine proof. What they thought was you being ignored by God was really heaven, collecting evidence, not just to bless you, but to silence your accusers. Every delay was a deposit. Every test was a tally. Every moment you remained obedient was added to your defense. Now comes the reversal. What was held up is being released. What was hidden is being exposed. What was stolen is being returned, not in equal measure, but with interest. You're going to receive double for the dishonor. You rest for every groan, though for every grief. But don't be shocked when those who plotted against you fall silent. Don't be alarmed when they subtly withdraw, when they backpedal and pretend like they didn't notice your rise. It's because heaven has ruled, and their mouths have been closed by divine decree. This is not about watching them fall. It's about watching God lift you beyond their reach. You won't have to post about it. You won't need to tell your side. Your life will tell it for you. Your fruit will speak. Your favor will echo in rooms you haven't even walked into yet. And as you rise, remember this: spiritual justice is never about revenge. It's about vindication through evidence. Evidence that God was always with you, that the oil was real, that your silence was power, that your tears were seeds, that your obedience was never in vain. This reversal is not temporary. It's not a quick win. It is a permanent positioning. Heaven is rearranging the narrative of your life, placing you where your heart aligns and your spirit thrives. The restoration coming will not just be external. It will heal parts of you that thought justice would never come. This is your season to rise, and they will watch it in silence. If you feel this word sealing your spirit and you want to support more revelations like this, you can give a super thanks with contributions up to $5. Every gift helps us bring more divine content straight into your timeline. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on prophetic direction, spiritual insight, and timely encouragement crafted just for your journey. Type "I receive justice" in the comments if you feel the reversal has begun. Lesson code 1919 is now restoring you. This with no coincidence. That pattern, that smile, that strange stirring in your spirit you tried to ignore. It wasn't just emotion. It wasn't just suspicion. It was divine summons. Heaven was calling you into awareness, into awakening, into alignment. And you answered. Now, as this message closes, know this: you are not going back to who you were. You cannot. You've seen too much. You've grown too deep. You've discerned too clearly. You are now walking with an awareness that has permanently shifted your path. And that shift, though it has cost you comfort, has crowned you with power. May your spirit remain sensitive, not soft, sensitive. May you feel what others ignore. May you sense what others overlook. May your ears be trained not by emotion but by the echo of heaven. May your heart beat in rhythm with divine instruction. And may your mouth speak only when heaven stirs your soul to release. Michael declares in full authority, you are covered. You are called. You are crowned. No demon in disguise. No counterfeit connection. No whispered lie can strip what God has sealed over you. You've been approved by divine courts. You've been marked with fire. And now, you've been publicly anointed through silence. Heaven smiles on your obedience. The angels rejoice in your restraint. You've passed the test of reaction. You've mastered the mystery of stillness. And now you rise with unshakable clarity. As you leave this moment, don't forget what was revealed. Don't downplay what was exposed. Don't second-guess what you discern. Move forward with assurance. Speak only when Spirit instructs. Rest in the knowledge that you are surrounded by fire, covered by grace, and led by truth. What was hidden has been revealed. What was uncertain has been clarified, and what felt like delay was divine development. Now go forward. Waggle. Love carefully. Watch closely. And above all, protect your peace like it's sacred currency. Because it is. Rise now. Heaven has spoken, and you are ready. Type I am ready in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 2020 is now upon you.